Hello, Virgo. Two things are coming. And I need you to understand from the very first word of this reading that they are not separate. That what arrives first and what arrives second are not two unrelated events that happen to land in the same window of your life by coincidence. They are connected causally. The way night is connected to morning, the way the depth of a wound is connected to the significance of the healing that follows it. What comes first is going to hurt. I am not going to dress that up or soften it into something more comfortable than it is because you deserve honesty more than you deserve comfort right now. And because the kind of preparation that actually serves you is the kind that tells you the truth about what is coming, rather than the kind that manages your expectations downward until reality can safely exceed them. What comes first is going to hurt. It is going to land in that specific, deep, this changes things way that only information from people you trusted can land, not strangers. Not people on the periphery of your life whose words reach you but do not penetrate, people with proximity, people with access, people who knew enough about you and your situation to be in possession of something that, once you hear it, cannot be unheard. Two of them, two separate revelations from two separate directions, arriving in close enough proximity to each other that the combined weight of it is going to be significant. And then something else entirely, something the universe has been building on your behalf for longer than you have been aware of it building. Something that does not arrive as comfort or as compensation or as the universe's apology for the difficulty of what preceded it. Something that arrives as reward, as the specific, tangible, undeniable reward for every moment you chose integrity when dishonesty would have been easier. Every moment you held your standard when lowering it would have cost you less. Every moment you remained exactly who you are in the face of situations that were trying very hard to make you into someone smaller. Two rewards, matching the two revelations in a symmetry that the universe does not always offer, but that, when it does, is so complete and so precise that it leaves no room for doubt about whether it was intentional. Stay with me. Every part of this reading belongs to you. Let me speak to the first person. The first revelation, the first arrival of something you did not know that is going to change the shape of something you thought you understood. This person has been in your life in a way that felt, if not entirely uncomplicated, at least legible. You had a version of them, a working understanding of who they were to you and what they represented and how they fit into the landscape of your current life. That understanding was not naive. You are not a person who gives trust without paying attention to whether the trust is warranted, but it was incomplete. There is a piece of the picture you do not have. And that piece, which this person has been carrying in a specific, deliberate, this is not an accident kind of silence, is about to reach you, not through their own voluntary honesty. I want to be clear about that. This is not a confession that comes from conscience or from a decision on their part to finally be straight with you. This is information that escapes, that finds its way to you through a channel they did not anticipate, did not control, and cannot now close. What you are going to learn involves something they did, or something they said, or something they were part of that directly affected you in ways you were never supposed to know about. The specific content varies for different people watching this. I feel multiple configurations of what this looks like across the range of people sitting with this reading right now. But the essential shape of it is the same. Someone who had your trust used it in a way that did not honor what trust is for. Let me speak to how it is going to feel when you receive it, because the feeling matters, and I want you to have a map for it before you are in the middle of it. The first thing is going to be a specific quality of stillness, not shock in the loud, destabilizing sense, but the quieter shock of someone whose understanding of a situation has just been structurally altered, where the picture you were looking at has changed, not at its edges, but at its center, where you find yourself needing to re-see everything in light of what you now know. That re-seeing takes time. Do not rush it. The second thing arriving in the wake of the stillness is going to be anger. Real, legitimate, I was right to feel something was off anger that has finally found its object. You have been carrying something a low, unnameable unease about this person or this situation that you perhaps talked yourself out of examining too closely because you did not have enough evidence to justify the examination. The evidence is arriving now. And the anger that follows it is not a problem to be managed. It is information. It is your interior world confirming that your standards were always correct and that what was done was a genuine violation of them. Let the anger be what it is before you do anything with it. It has earned its moment. And the third thing, which does not arrive quickly, but which I feel clearly in your energy as something that is coming on the other side of the difficult part, is relief. The specific, exhausted, surprising relief of understanding, of having the shape of something that was always slightly unclear finally become visible in its full form, of not having to carry the uncertainty anymore. Understanding, even when what you come to understand is painful, is almost always less costly than not understanding. Now, the second person, this one is different in texture from the first. The first revelation lands with the quality of something that exposes a betrayal. The second lands with the quality of something that exposes a loss. Not a wrongdoing, at least, not in the clear, traceable sense, but something that was withheld, something that could have been said and was not, something that the second person held in a silence that was not malicious, but that was nonetheless a form of dishonesty. They knew something about your situation, or about a person in your life, or about a dynamic that has been affecting you that they did not tell you. Not because they were actively working against you, but because telling you felt complicated, because the truth they were holding existed in a space where their loyalty to you and their loyalty to someone or something else were in tension, and they resolved that tension by choosing silence over transparency. They told themselves it was protecting you, it was protecting them. And what they withheld, what you are about to learn, is something that would have changed decisions you made, would have altered the way you moved through a period of your life that you moved through without information you deserve to have, would have made at least one thing easier, or at least one choice clearer, or at least one situation navigable in a way that it was not, because you were operating without the full picture. That full picture is arriving from a direction the second person did not expect, through a channel they thought was closed, in a form they cannot now intercept. I want to pause here for a moment because I feel something in your energy that I want to speak to before we move into the second half of this reading. Two painful things arriving in close proximity is a specific kind of accumulation. It is the kind that can feel in the immediate window of receiving it like the universe is opposing you, like the information coming at you from two directions is evidence of something systemic, something about the quality of the people in your circle, or the choices you have made about who to trust, or the fundamental reliability of your own judgment about who deserves access to the interior of your life. I want to interrupt that interpretation before it takes root. What is happening is not evidence of a flaw in your judgment. It is evidence of something moving, of a period of concealment reaching its natural end, of information that was always going to surface eventually in someone's life or in the circumstances of a situation, finally reaching the moment of its surfacing. You are not the common denominator in a pattern of being betrayed. You are the recipient of a clearing, a simultaneous, perhaps overwhelming, but ultimately clarifying delivery of truth that your life needed in order to move forward into something that is actually built on real ground. Because you cannot build on what you cannot see. And what you are about to be able to see is going to make the building that comes after it more solid than anything that came before. Does this feel like something that has been approaching, Virgo? Have you felt the specific quality of information existing in your vicinity that has not yet reached you? That sensation of something pending, something just outside your current awareness that is moving toward it? Have you had moments recently where a conversation stopped slightly too quickly, or a subject changed with slightly too much deliberateness, or someone's energy around a particular topic felt slightly too managed? Let me know in the comments. Tell me if you felt this coming before you had the language for what was coming. Now let me bring you to the other side, because this reading does not end with the painful part. And I want you to feel the full architecture of what is arriving before we close, because the complete picture is the only one that actually serves you. The universe rewards you twice. The first reward comes directly from the first revelation, from the exposure of what the first person did. And it comes in a form that is not abstract or spiritual or theoretical. It is practical. It involves something real in your life, something material, relational, or circumstantial shifting in your favor, because the truth of what was done is now visible. And truth, when it becomes visible, always redistributes things. What was misaligned corrects. What was held from you gets released. What was working against you in the dark loses its leverage when it is brought into the light. And the specific, concrete consequence of that correction is something you are going to be able to hold in your hands. Not metaphorically, literally, something in your actual daily life changes because the hidden thing is hidden no longer. For some of you, this is financial, something that was being managed in ways that did not serve your interest is now going to be managed differently. For others, it is relational, a position in someone's life, a level of respect or consideration, a quality of how you are treated shifts because the nature of what was being done and who was doing it has become undeniable. For others, it is situational, an opportunity unlocks, a door opens, a path becomes visible that was being blocked by something you could not see until now. The shape of it varies, the direction of it does not. It moves toward you as correction, as what was always supposed to be yours, making its way back to you through the channel that the truth opened. The second reward is different in quality, quieter in its arrival, but in many ways more significant in what it represents for where your life is going. It comes not from the revelation itself, but from your response to it, from the specific, deeply Virgo way in which you are going to receive two painful truths simultaneously and not be destroyed by them, not be hardened by them in the defensive, closing down way that difficulty sometimes produces in people who do not have the interior resources to process it without contracting, not be destabilized in the fundamental way that people without your particular quality of groundedness would be destabilized by news of this weight arriving from two directions at once. You are going to receive it and stand up, and the universe rewards that. Not in the abstract sense of virtue being its own reward, in the concrete sense of something opening in your life that has been waiting for exactly this demonstration of who you are under pressure, an opportunity, a person, a circumstance that presents itself in the wake of the difficult part with the specific quality of something that was always going to require you to first demonstrate that you could carry the weight of the truth before you were ready to carry the weight of what the truth makes possible. The weight is arriving now, which means what it makes possible is very close behind it. The weight is arriving now, which means what it makes possible is very close behind it. Let me speak to the symmetry of this for a moment, because I feel it is one of the most structurally unusual things about what is approaching you, and I want to make sure you understand it before it arrives. Most of the time, pain and reward exist in sequence. The difficult thing happens, time passes, the healing occurs. Eventually, somewhere down a road that can feel very long while you're walking it, something good arrives. And the distance between the pain and the reward is what makes the reward feel like a separate event rather than a response. What is happening for you right now does not follow that sequence. The two painful revelations and the two rewards are not separated by a long road. They are arriving in the same window, in a compression of time that is unusual and specific and deliberate in a way that the universe does not often offer, but that, when it does, signals something important about where you are in your own story. It signals completion, not the completion of your story overall, but the completion of a chapter that has been running long enough. A chapter defined in part by what was hidden from you, by the information you were navigating without, by the version of your life that was possible while certain things remained concealed. That chapter is closing. Not gradually, the way most chapters close, where you only recognize the ending in retrospect, but actively, distinctly, in a way you are going to feel as it happens. What comes after this chapter is built on different ground, fuller ground, ground that can hold more because it is finally telling the truth about what it is made of, and you are going to build something extraordinary on it. Inhale. I want to speak to something about who you are going to be on the other side of what is coming, because I feel this clearly, and I think it is one of the most important pieces of this entire reading. The version of you that exists after these two revelations has arrived is going to be different from the version that exists right now, not in character, not in the essential qualities of who you are and what you stand for and how you move through your relationships. Those do not change. Those are the things about you that the difficult seasons have consistently failed to alter, no matter how hard they pressed. What changes is the information you are operating from. You are going to know things that you currently do not know. You are going to see the landscape of your life with a clarity that the withheld information was preventing. You are going to make decisions from a place of full visibility that you have been making from partial visibility. And decisions made with full information, even when the full information is difficult, are almost always better than the ones made without it. The version of you with clear sight is the version the universe has been building toward. The pain is the last thing standing between you and that version. It is arriving, and it is almost done. As I bring this reading toward its close, I want to leave you with the framing I feel matters most for how you carry what is coming into the days ahead. This is not happening to you. I know it will feel like it is happening to you. I know that when painful information arrives from two directions in close proximity, it is genuinely difficult to experience it as anything other than a series of things landing on you with weight and consequence and a realness that is hard to stand inside of without bracing. But this is happening for you, for the version of your life that can only be built once the things that were hidden are visible, for the clarity that can only come once the withholding ends, for the rewards that can only arrive once. What they are rewarding your integrity, your groundedness, your unwillingness to be anything other than exactly who you are has been given the right conditions to be seen in full. The universe does not offer this particular combination carelessly. Pain followed immediately by reward, in the same window, in the same breath. It is offered when someone is ready. When someone has done enough work on themselves and held their standard through enough difficult seasons that what arrives on the other side of the difficulty is genuinely proportional to what the difficulty cost. You are ready. The cost has been paid, and twice over, what is owed is coming. Leave me a comment below. Tell me which direction you feel this coming from. Tell me which person in your life has been carrying something you have not yet been told. Tell me what you have been sensing without being able to name it. I read every single word, every comment, every story I carry with genuine care long after this reading ends. Until next time, Virgo, two things are coming. One will break something open, the other will show you what was waiting inside it. Both were always meant for you.